So for the month of February, I am working on the Love Notes collection. It's a 12 by 12 collection from Echo Park. And my idea is to show you how I decide what to do with the scraps as I've made projects. The first project I made was this little folio, so that is on my channel. The second project I made is this little mini album, so that is also on my channel. And now I am faced with really not many scraps, but you know, I want to work my scraps until they're gone. So I have this, which is from My Valentine from Cartabella. So it doesn't go with the collection, but it matches with the collection, sorta. I mean, the collection doesn't have this color in it, but I could probably make it work. So I don't really have that much in big scraps. Let me move this out of the way. And then here is my sticker sheet, which there's a reasonable amount of stickers. I have a couple of cut aparts. I have some solids. I have a couple more solids as well. I have that in solids. So that's going to be a help. Oh, this is just a piece of cardstock, but this matches obviously. So here's all the solids. All right, so there's all the solids. Then I have really not many large scraps. So there's no way I can make a large mini album. There's another cut apart. And I guess that's it for cut aparts. Oh. Now, I really like this, but this might be more valuable to me. So, looking at this, I have a couple of ideas. I think what I'll do is make a mini album, a very small one, maybe like 3 by 4. So just if you were to print out photos and you normally print out 4 by 6 photos, you could put 4 2 by 3 photos and print that out. And wouldn't that make a cute little album? So keeping that in mind, if I do something like a 3 by 4, maybe the pages will be 3 by 4, then I can utilize this cut apart and that one as well, and use up all of my scraps. Now, the other thing I was thinking of doing is, because I do have a lot of smaller scraps, is to make maybe hidden paper clips, maybe some ephemera to add to cards or envelopes. I could make a couple of cards. I need cards for my kids for Valentine's Day. Look at this. Wouldn't this make a nice rosette? I mean, even if I cut that off, that would make a nice rosette. So I've got some options. I think, again, what I'm going to do, just because of the size of the scraps, is start with a 3 by 4 mini album. I'll cover it with this cardstock, and let me show you it as I get it done. So I went into my chipboard stash and I got a couple of pieces. They already had some adhesive on it, so I'm going to use those. I'm cutting it down to 3.5 by 4.5. So I'm using this extra piece of chipboard on the left to help cut it straight. So I have 2 pieces that are 3.5 by 4.5 and 1 piece that is 1 by 4.5. So I'm peeling off the backing of that spine piece, the 1-inch piece, just trying to make sure it's straight on the paper. I'll put some 1/4-inch double-sided adhesive on both sides of that. I'll cut down my cardstock now, and then I will peel off the backing on my adhesive and peel off the backing on that chipboard, add a little bit of glue, and put it down on that pink cardstock. If you've seen my channel, then you know I've done mini albums like this many times. That's why I feel comfortable going in fast motion. I'm sure if you look hard on my channel, you can find another one that is pretty similar, or you have experience in covering chipboard for a mini album. I mean, like I said, I've done it so many times. So anyhow, I'm going to add glue to the sides here and fold and burnish. I'm using the Designer Dries Clear Glue from the Art Glitter Company, using my bone folder to get in that little crevice and just burnishing. All right, I've got some other scraps and I'm using a pink scrap. I'll add a little bit of double-sided tape here and I'll just add that pink scrap to cover up the inside spine. I usually don't use double-sided adhesive to adhere things, but I'm using it in conjunction with some liquid adhesive. So this little pink scrap's not going to go anywhere. It's a real small piece. I was being very daring. Probably should have done something maybe 2 inches bigger. You saw how those little flaps wanted to fold up, but this will work. I mean, it's a teeny little mini album. It's not going to be a big one. All right, now I am taking another piece of cardstock and I am scoring it to make a hinge. So I'm sorry, I'm not giving you the measurements, but it's 2 1/2 inch and then 3/8. I'm making sure I have enough for 3 pages. So 2 1/2 inch, 3/8, 2 1/2 inch, 3/8, 2 1/2 inch. Then I will fold and burnish on the score lines in between each of the 1/2 inch piece, and then I'll pull it together, fold it, and burnish it again. I've done many tutorials where I go into more detail on how I do my hinge system. It goes fairly quick. I am going in fast motion, but it's 1.38, so it's not that much faster. So now I'm adding glue on one of those 1/2 inch pieces for each of those hinges. I'll turn this upside down and just burnish it with my fingers at this point. Then I'll take my bone folder and burnish it in one direction, fold them over the other way, and burnish it again. So there we go. Oh, I believe this piece is 4 inches tall. It was 8.5 by 4. Now I'm adding some more glue. I'm putting it on the back side of the hinge. I'm putting it where all those folds come together and then zigzagging on the underside of the gussets. And then I will add that onto that spine that already has the pink cardstock on it. And this incidentally is 65-pound weight cardstock. It just was a pink from my stash. I am not sure of the brand, probably Recollections, but it could be paper from Hobby Lobby. I really don't know. All right, and then I'll add some more glue on the other side of that gusset and glue in the little channel and glue on the chipboard. Just glue, 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 just to hold this piece down. Use my bone folder to help distribute the glue. Go in that little crevice. I use my finger just to pull off a little bit. And I'll just burnish it a little bit more. And then I'll do the same with the other side. Yeah, they're not even, but you know what? It doesn't matter. We're going to cover this with pattern paper. And I know some people like to cover the insides of the chipboard so you don't see the chipboard showing. But you know what? It's not going to show. But if it makes you feel better to cover it, by all means, cover it. So again, I'm distributing the glue with the bone folder and just making sure it goes all over and will stick. And there we go. Now I like to leave it open to let it dry. So that is what I'll do. In the meantime, I'm going to pull some papers from my stash. So I have 2 more pieces of that pink and I have that 1 piece of pattern paper. I'm going to have 2 of the pink and I'm going to use 1 of the pattern paper. Usually I will do one or the other. not pattern paper, cardstock. So I will do usually cardstock and then add pattern paper on the top. I am deciding that the pages are going to be 3 1/4. So I'm scoring at 3 1/4. Yeah, I know I've got that branding strip on the bottom of this. I think I was trying to decide if I was going to make that into a pocket or fold it. I'm scoring this so then each side is 3 1/4. So I'm putting the, see, this is where I'm trying to decide if it's going to make a pocket. I decided it's not going to make a pocket. So I just cut it down to 4. So the pages are going to be 3 1/4 by 4. It's going to be a simple page, just folded that in half. I'll put the cardstock, oops, I need to redo my glue, cardstock in on the last page. Oops, I forgot to add glue in the bottom. I opened it up and put it in, make sure it's even with the bottom of the mini album, and then burnish. And here I'm going to add glue onto my pattern paper. Doesn't matter whether I add it to the hinge or the pattern paper. It's all going to be the same. So I'll put in that second page. And then third page. Again, I'll add glue to the cardstock and put it in the book. Burnish it real well. And there we are. We've got pages in the book. They are pocket pages, top-loading pocket pages. So now I'm looking at my scraps, trying to decide how I'm going to decorate it, where I'm going to put the scraps, where I'm going to put the cut-aparts, I mean. And then I see this one piece with the words will fit perfectly. If I score it, I can actually make this into a little cheater pocket. I'm going to cut it down so the pocket is just, oh, I don't know, 1.5 inches tall. So a cheater pocket is, it doesn't have the tabs on the side to fold, it's just made with glue. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Oh, decided that it wasn't big enough. So I'm messing around with it. It still really isn't perfectly aligned. See, that's how I make a cheater pocket, but I'm going to punch a little hole in the top. But I just put the glue on the sides. That's it. But it makes a nice little page, and there we go. One page is decorated. Well, done. So now what am I going to do over to the side? Is that big enough to make a pocket? Yeah. Oh, so I'll use that piece. This is like the ultimate in laziness. I didn't measure the piece. I had just put it on my scoreboard, figured out where I needed the score lines to be for a bottom pocket. I didn't even use cardstock. I'm just making the pocket out of the pattern paper. I'm putting in that one piece just so it goes in the flap. I'll add glue to the bottom. So that one piece on the top, the heart piece, doesn't go all the way to the bottom of the pocket, but that's okay. You still can add things to it. All right, now don't forget, I really didn't have that much paper left. Do I want to use the solid? So why don't I do that? I'll measure this again. I probably measure it 6 times while I'm making this. What I usually do is write down the measurements and put it on a scrap of paper in front of me. I didn't do that for this one, so I just keep measuring. All right, what am I going to do for the inside cover? Nope, too small. How about this? Ah, this will work. But do I want plain paper? My holdup is probably that it doesn't match perfectly with that pocket color. It's sort of an orangey color. All right, and what will I do for decorating? I like this for the front cover, even though that's a 4x4 cut apart, and my book is 3.5 by 3.5. I'm sorry, 3.5 by 4.5. See, I'm hung up on that orange paper. It's not orange, it's red with a different red tone, but I don't like it. Okay, that's the third time I'm measuring. I'm just going to use red solid. So I'm cutting it down to about 4 3/8 by 3 3/8. Wondering if I'm going to take a scrap and put it in that pocket. Wondering if I'm going to decorate it with something. And then I see that sticker. And I decide I'm going to use that sticker. I'm going to put it on this piece of pattern paper. I'm going to score it. I'm scoring it right on that line where the branding strip is. And I'm making a pocket out of it. So I'll put it on my red cardstock and then glue it down. I'll burnish that down real well. Add glue to the rest of it, including those tabs. Those tabs will be hidden underneath so you won't see them. And now I've got a nice little tuck spot using that sort of chalkboard, and then I know what to do with this cut apart. That will be perfect in that pocket. And now I'm sort of feeling it. Now I obviously realize I'm going to go with black and white accents for that first page. Okay, now I can move on to the second page. Go through my scraps again just to see what I have. I have the idea now of making a side loading pocket, just sort of a cheater pocket. Oh, will this piece work for the spine? It's close. I think I'm going to go with that. So I cut it down. Didn't even measure this. Well, yeah, I did measure it. Okay. And it's a cheater pocket. So I had glue on 3 sides, the top, the bottom, and one of the long sides. Glue it down, burnish it. And I'm looking for something to add to the side. So I'm adding some of the powder to take off the stickiness of the edge of those stickers, because it's going to come out a little bit. So I'll just add that, which coordinates, of course, with the page on the right. And there we go. I'll just find a little cut apart at some point in time and put it in that pocket. Am I going to make a cut apart now? Oh, I know. I was going to make a folder, and I cut it way too small, so I don't think you see that folder anymore. So I see that paper, I see some other paper. I decide to move on and decorate something else, and it will come to me what I add to that pocket. All right, so for the back inside cover, I'm trying to decide if it's worth it to use those cut apart. So that one cut apart has the lollipops in it, and I think it says something like, "You'll suck without me," and I just have a hard time using that. Thinking, if you give this to a little kid, you don't want a little kid to say you suck. So that's just my personal opinion, and that is why I didn't use the cut apart. I just had a hard time with that. If you know it's going to go to an adult, that's one thing, but am I crazy? Do you guys agree with me? Oh, my life would suck without you. I mean, I might say that to my husband, but I wouldn't say that to a kid. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Anyhow, it fit very well on the back inside cover. And then I had this great sticker here. Right before I put it on, I said, you know what, I need to de-stick it. So I took my little powdery tool and put it on, added glue just because I overdid it with the powder, and put it on at an angle. I like that sticker. I want to make sure we were able to use it. And then I've got this little scrap of paper. Oh, I like the plain. I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to cut this down a little, Just eyeball it, and I'll just add it in. All right, I am going to decorate the back cover. So I've got those two papers, you see the flowers and the stripes. And so I want those, but I'm going to have that white paper that I'm cutting down go in the middle. I want them all to be the exact same size. So I put them all on my cutting tool, my paper trimmer. Yeah, that's it. And I cut them all the same size. So the stripes will be at the top and the flowers will be at the bottom. I'm sorry that I'm not on screen, but that is just how I'll decorate the back cover. And then I'm going to go through my stickers and try to find something to put in the center there. I find a little stamp that I put there. But as I move on, I change it, and I think that there was a circle piece. Oh, haha. I actually put the back cover on the front cover and realized that is not going to work. I end up peeling it up off camera because it becomes a mess. It's not that I don't mind showing my mistakes, but I actually took a break and just had to rethink things, so I wasn't recording it while I was thinking things through. But anyhow, all's well that ends well. I go ahead and put on a piece of pink paper, and then I cut that cut apart down. I'm going through the scraps just seeing what else I can use. I fussy cut this tag. I could use my paper trimmer, but I just fussy cut my tag. Cut the little hole. Add some seam binding to it. Just tie it up at the top, and there is the pocket. I'm going through the scraps and making tags out of it. I have this little tag thing that came from scrapping under the influence. Take my pencil and make little lines on it. I cut it down a little bit because it's too big. And then cut down to make it a tag shape. Add some seam binding to that. And voila, we've got yet another tag. I just think taking some of this paper and making it look like a tag as opposed to just a piece. Oh, I found a piece of red. I thought it was red seam binding, but it had snowflakes on it, so that wasn't going to work. So then I go take my seam binding out, tie it at the top, and there we go. Too big for here, but it'll fit in the top of that top loading pocket. So let me go through and do all of these tags a little bit quicker, and let's get that done. All right, so I put the tags in as I make them. You also see I've added some stickers. I've just gone on my sticker sheet and pulled them out. Decided to use this heart paper, which came from a different collection, I realized, because it's got that orange on the back, but it matches. And go through, add that arrow, add any other embellishments that I can to decorate the pages, and then I see what else I have left to add to the book. I mean, I don't have any big scraps, but I have enough to make little tags. So I go through and make a couple of tags. So I'll do the same size front and back. I'll cut them at the same time, add them onto one on the pattern paper, fussy cut around it, flip it over, and add the other one to the back of it. Cut a hole, add my seam binding, and we're done. Oh, I'm not doing seam binding. What am I doing? Oh, making another tag. I guess I'm going tag crazy here. Oh no, it's just decorative. And also, it's a good use of those longer, thin scraps. So grab a couple more pieces of seam binding, put it in. This one I'm tying at the bottom. I don't know if it's worth it because it was a lot of trouble, but there we go. So I'm going through again one more time, seeing what I have left, seeing if there's anything else I can add to the book. And I decide, you know what, that's probably it. So I will do a walkthrough and show you. Oh, this is where I take off the sticker. I have some lighter fluid that helps me release stickers. At the very end, I have these heart-shaped sort of enamel-y dots. I think they came from scrapping up from years ago. And although they still are sticky, I like to use glue to stick dimensionals on. So I put dots of glue. I think I did 5, and now I'm using my little pokey tool, and I'm placing those white hearts all around that wreath just to add a little oomph to it. All right, let me do a walkthrough and show you what we've got. So it again is a 3.5 by 4.5 mini album. You can see I've got the pink cardstock on the front with the other cut apart. I have all these chalkboardish looking things, or black, white, and red. I think that coordinates nicely, and I like that little arrow there. There's another piece that coordinates. Now we change the page and we go to the hearts with the balloons. So there's another tag in that cheater pocket. I don't have anything on that back page, but that's okay. And there we go. I think it came out pretty cute. So I will put that in my Etsy shop. Probably I'll put it on sale, so go check my Etsy shop and see what I have. That's all I wanted to show you today. Thanks for watching me with this long process video, but it was fun to do, and I hope you thought it was fun to watch. So thanks again for watching, and have a fabulous day.